Hey guys, welcome to IBCade. Today we have something very special for you, and it's special because I've really wanted to make this video for a while now, because I've been very curious about how these two compare to each other. Now, as you guys know, this is the AirPods 2, Galaxy Buds 2. I'm just gonna call them 2. They just came out like a couple weeks apart, and they're the best from both companies. And I know what you're thinking. Like, people who are in the Apple ecosystem are not going to shop for Samsung earbuds, and people in the Samsung ecosystem are not necessarily going to buy AirPods. Like, they do, but it's going to be very rare. You might not even think about it because there is a wall, a garden right here, and a lot of you guys kind of stick to your own ecosystem, which is fine. But I am curious, and I'm sure many of you guys are curious, like, are we missing out? Is there something that Samsung offers or Apple offers that we are missing out in? And so today, I've literally listened to these for hours and hours for the past few days, and I'm trying to come to a conclusion I think is going to be reasonable, fair, and unbiased. Like, this is my honest review, guys. All right. Now, I'm even going to say that I love Android. I use Samsung products a lot, so there is a little bit of a tilt there, but when it comes to sound, music, seriously, no bias. I'm up for whatever sounds better. Okay, so with that said, let's start doing a little bit of the comparisons. Now, as you guys know, these are very similar in how they connect, very easy. If you just open the case, the Samsung automatically detects it, connects. So does the AirPods. Like, those are very nice to have, right? Where it really comes down to difference is the fit, sound quality, and I'd say even the comfort of all this, which is kind of fit, but I explain it a little bit differently later, why that's important. Okay, so let's first of all go with a song that I've tested here. Now, this is a super popular song, as you guys know, Bad Guy by Billie Eilish. Awesome song, great song, very popular, right? I've got to say that when I put Spatial sound on, I calibrated my whole head and everything and listened to this song with the new AirPods 2. It was outstanding. I felt like I could hear Billie Eilish just right next to my head. Like, her voice is right there, and I was hearing other sounds that I've never heard before, other voices. It spooked me out, just like this picture, spooked me out. And I was like, wow, I've never heard that before. I've never felt it like this. And as much as I love listening to this song with the new, Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro 2, I gotta say that listening with this with the Spatial on is a completely different experience. And I want to say this one other thing. I think it's a physical thing. So this right here kind of has a stem, right? So what happens is when I put this in my ear, I feel the sound traverses or travels like right here too. All right. So it's actually around my jaw. It doesn't touch my jaw, but it's definitely, I could feel the sound be fuller. Like, I don't know how to explain this completely, but I feel like it's wrapping around my head, my cranium. Like, I could feel the sound being totally absorbed by my entire head, and I'm immersed in it. And that's a very different vibe, different type of way of listening to music that I haven't felt with this. And I really think it's because of the stem right here. I wonder if Apple does that on purpose, but this whole thing just vibrates, and this whole thing produces a sound where I feel like, wow, I could actually feel, not only hear, but feel the whole music all around my head. And maybe it does vibrate and cause me to feel all around my head too. I don't know. Maybe that is some kind of physics that Apple uses. But in my empirical opinion, that's how it feels. And that makes the music really filling and full. And there's no other way to say it other than I could just kind of get drowned in a song. And in that way, Apple succeeds. Like, that is something that the Buds cannot do for some reason. Sorry about that. This right here physically doesn't have a stem, right? So this goes straight in your ear. And because of that, I don't really feel the music wrap around my head. I just feel it in my ear and above. And that is truly the best way I can describe this. Like, you have to listen to this side by side. If you're listening to this without ever listening to AirPods, you're not going to really know what I mean. And you're never going to be like, oh my God, that's, I have no idea what this guy's saying. It's true. And people who've only been used to this is not going to understand what I mean by, your head being half full with music. And that's where I feel like the Apple AirPods Pro differs completely from the Galaxy Buds Pro 2. And I gotta ask, is that a bad thing, right? Is that something that you're missing out? Well, there's pros and cons to this. From my experience, I could not listen to the AirPods Pro 2 for a very long time because I was so used to listening to music through Galaxy Buds Pro 2. And the reason why is because this right here is so filling and so strong. It comes on strong that I got tired of music after a while. Like, I just physically got tired and I wanted to take it out, kind of give it a rest, which isn't a bad thing, but it happened. Whereas these continue to be warm, satisfying, soothing. Like, I could just keep going on and on listening to this. And you know what else helps? This new earbud, the way that they designed this, they've made it so light, so comfortable, that I gotta give between 1 through 5. I gotta give a 5 on comfort. And I gotta give a 4 on comfort for here. For some reason, the AirPods Pro, after listening to a while, my ears start to hurt. I felt like the pressure is pretty good, actually. The pressure is better here, but just the fit. And I've changed these, guys. There's a small, medium, large, X large earbuds. I've changed these to fit my ear, and still, after a while, it just kind of made me tired and it felt uncomfortable. And again, this is my ears. This is my experience. Everyone has different ears. Everyone has a different experience in that. But in my case, that was the case. And these were just so comfortable. I could have these in my ear for a very long time. And they're light, so much lighter than the AirPods Pro 2. At least it feels that way. And while I'm at it, I gotta say, design on this is awesome. Like, the mat that they decided to go with, I don't know if you could tell, but it's literally they've designed an egg. This reminds you of an egg. Think about the texture on this, the matte texture. I think that's where they got their inspiration. Whereas this is very glossy still. It's great, but it'll leave fingerprints, and I think it'll scratch very easily, so you got to be careful. But I really like the matte, and I'm thinking maybe someday Apple might go matte too. I don't know. That's just some guess. But yes, I love the case. I love the form factor, and I love the weight. Very easy to carry around, very easy to put in your pocket. So I'd say, as far as design and case goes, I give it a 5 here. Okay, so that's how it is. By the way, sorry about the siren. I live in New York City, so you're gonna hear noises, but that's another segue into the ANC. I gotta give the win here to Apple AirPods Pro 2. I don't know if it's 2 times better than the first generation, but definitely these will drown every noise out, especially like music noises, people talking to you. If you don't want to hear it, just plug these in. You won't hear people. What it does not cover is very high frequency noises. Like, I went to a cafe, for example, and I couldn't hear the people talking. I couldn't even hear the music blasting, to be honest. That was kind of weird. I kept testing, like, is the music on? And yes, it was blasting, but when I put these on, the music disappeared. So great job, Apple. But I could hear like the footsteps. I could hear people like ordering coffee. I could hear the cups clanking. those high frequency noises were not going away, which is fine. But I'm just saying, this doesn't completely make everything silent. It's more like it just silences certain noises better than the other, so you are still gonna hear noise. And when you're on a plane, I'm sure it's gonna be much better. Like when I'm in the subway and there's a hum, it's much more quieter, but it's not completely silent. And I gotta say, even though Samsung did a great job, it's still not as good as the AirPods Pro 2. They beat them on this one. Are these the best Ankh? No, that goes to the recent Bose earphones. But as far as these two are concerned, this is a 5, this is like a 4. All right. So again, non-biased, Apple wins here. Another thing that I want to talk about is vocals, right? So as you know, spatial audio has gotten, I don't know if you've seen videos, but you can literally like take a picture of your face, side and left, and it's supposed to kind of calculate the spatial awareness. I'm not going to show you my face here, so that's not going to happen, but I've tested it, and I gotta say the spatial awareness is much better than this and also the AirPods Pro, right? So if you're into spatial audio, it's becoming a thing, I guess, but you know, I'm really still kind of how should I say, dubious about it. This really tries its best, and I think you're going to enjoy it quite a bit compared to this 3D audio. So again, spatial audio, definitely give it a try, especially with that song. Give it a try. Okay, now another song that I like is Diamonds from Sierra Leone. This one right here, Kanye West. Why did I test this? The beats, lots of vocals, Jay-Z. Yeah, it's just, you can feel the bass much stronger. Again, like I said, because of the stem, it really does rock your whole head. It's not the strongest bass, but it is more bass than this. Now here is where I gotta say, you know, the difference. I personally don't like too much bass where it just vibrates your entire head. Like, I don't like those cars that just vibrate with bass. That's not my thing. Some people love that. That's fine. I'm not. What Samsung manages to do is give a very clear, like crystal, but has an end and just kind of backs off. So think of it like a quick punch. It punches you and backs off. All right. It's very clear. It's concise. It's precise. That's the kind of bass that Samsung went with. And I know they did this on purpose. Like, of course, Samsung owns JBL and Harman and Mark Levinson. They know how to do sound. When they're not giving that kind of bass, it's on purpose. And I personally like that because as soon as the bass is gone, I like the voice and the treble and the other frequencies to take over. I don't like the bass to drown out all the instruments, including the vocal. So I prefer the bass on these. But if you like a little bit more dump, then the Apple AirPods will give you that. And this is where I feel like Apple AirPods really try to perfect like every song. Like they have like I bet like a Venn diagram of what people want, and they're trying to fulfill that sweet spot by kind of pleasing everybody. So again, much more filling here, much more cleaner. Okay, and I prefer this. Transparency mode, Apple does a great job. It like even puts a speaker in there so you can hear yourself. No problem there. I'd say again, Apple AirPods do better in transparency mode, but you're gonna hear very well with this too. So to me, it's not really important. Like it's not like, oh my god, you know, like this makes everyone sound better. No, it's just works, and this works too. So are you missing out? No, you're not. All right. Where I gotta say wins again is comfort. Let's talk about comfort. As I've said before, this is very light, and for me, like if I was to take one earphone with me to Europe, I would choose the Samsung. Why? Because I know I could be on the plane for like 4 hours and then walk around Europe with this on and still be comfortable. But this, I don't feel as comfortable with this. And the pressure, I don't know, it could be my ears, again, empirical, but like, I just feel these are much more comfortable and these sound very well. I mean, I'll be satisfied with these in the trip. But these are great for like the first hour that you listen to any music. Oh man, this hits hard. And I think that if you guys are coming from like wired iPhone headphones or the first generation, you are definitely going to be in for a treat. Like, this is a great upgrade, and it's worth it. You know, price is the same. It's Apple didn't really mess with the success they had with the first generation, and it shows. Like, they just made everything better. And I'd say that you guys, whoever buys this, is not gonna regret it. Especially if you love the first generation, you're gonna feel right at home, but just with better sound, better quality, better ANC, better call quality. Just everything's just gonna be better. So go for it. If you have the means, go for it. Okay. And like I said, Samsung guys, like, don't worry. Like, this is an awesome, especially if you have a Samsung phone with a 24-bit. The warmth that you feel in the sound, the voices, anything like with a lot of voice. Like, there's a song here. I don't know if you guys know this artist, Park Hyo-shin's Korean singer. This song is all vocal. He has a great voice, sings very well. And like, if you listen to this with the Galaxy Buds Pro 2, like, you'll feel the warmth. You'll feel how good it sounds, especially with this. And I gotta say that, like, you're not missing out at all with this. The only thing that you're missing out is Bad Guy by Billie Eilish with Spatial surround. That's something special. I gotta give my hands, like, if you ever get a chance, try listening to that song with this song with the spatial sound, and you're really gonna hear new voices, in my opinion. Like, it was superb. But other than that song, Galaxy Buds Pro did very well. There's a song by Pink Floyd, Shine On You, Crazy Diamond. Those are masterpieces, and both earpods making a masterpiece. All right, so final thing I gotta say, and this is kind of breaks my heart to say this because I really like this. All right, so what I ultimately want, like, the question is, what do you ultimately want, right? I would love the comfort of this with the stems like this, and the detailed sounds of this with the warmth of this. Okay, again, unicorn product, never gonna happen, but that is what I want. All right, like, if that kind of headphone exists, that would be the best headphone for me. And that doesn't exist, so you always gotta choose one. And I gotta say that both headphones are amazing, but the AirPods Pro 2 does have a little bit more clarity, does have more detail, and is much more filling. But these make the music more soothing, more warm, and very easy to listen to for hours and hours, especially with the comfort. So that's my revelation from listening to these for hours and days. I personally think that competition is good. This is why these products exist, and they're improving. You know, they're competing with each other, they're competing with other companies, and in the end, consumers win. Like, we get to hear amazing sound, and I'm telling you, like, for audiophiles, each year, these are just getting good enough so that it can satisfy even the most hardcore audiophiles, you know? Well, maybe not the most hardcore, but, you know, a lot of audiophiles are converting and realizing, you know, these are pretty good now. And I think years from now, when the 3 and 4 come up, it's just going to get better and better, and it's a good time to be listening to music. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, please put in the comments below. I try to be as unbiased, most honest as possible. I buy these things with my money. I don't have, I don't always say the greatest things, but I always say the honest things about these. All right. See ya in the next video. Have a good day.